Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. We have ourselves another supporters stream. And before we get diving on in and say hello to everybody, we will not be doing pretty much anything live next week. Sadly, even the weekly news roundup. No. I will be working at a camp all next week, and it is in a cell tower free zone. I pretty much have no way to get on it except for we do have a little wireless, like a Wi-Fi network in the office there, but I can't really jump on there and do streams and stuff. I'm going to have... Hopefully, I'm shooting for about 3 videos to scatter Premiere. And if I get the opportunity, I might record some really weird type of doing a pre-recorded weekly news roundup and just kind of release it as a Premiere. But we will not be doing anything. And then the following week, I am going to be doing a workshop at a different camp. But there, I think we have internet. So if we have internet, we'll be somewhat back. But I don't know yet because I haven't been there before. So the other one, I know I don't have any access to anything because there's like this little radio telescope nearby. And yeah, you can't have Wi-Fi or cellular or anything around radio telescopes. So that is going to be that. And then we dive right on into the super secret project. We'll probably talk about that a little bit today. If you have missed any of the, the weekly news roundup, we've talked about it just a little bit. Also, if you did not catch it, I was on LibreQuest's podcast. We talked a little bit about it over there as well. And that's over there on I think I linked it in the Discord server a few days ago. But if you look up LibreQuest, he's on a variety of different platforms, audio and video podcast platforms. And we did an interview. I think it came out Tuesday. So some information over there. But anyway, that's my my updates for now. So sorry guys, no live next week. We will try and have some premiered and scheduled videos though, depending on how much I get done between here and there, because I also need to build an ebook server. How's it going, Dan?
I'm here.
Dan is here. Good enough. And we got Salbu. Got your coffee?
Yeah, I got my coffee and it's
Cheers.
Nice and warm.
I got green tea with lemon. Love it. And
I got some pizza. So
a pizza,
right.
dude, give it over, give it here through the webcam. All right,
Tom, I got a pizza in the freezer. You'd love
got pizza too, Mark, dude.
In the freezer.
You know what? I actually have a homemade calzone in the freezer, so I'll take my homemade calzone after your guys.
I'll trade.
No,
I'll trade.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway, how's it going there, Mark?
I'm doing fan-freaking-tastic.
Awesome. I opened up that keyboard to look at it, Mark. I'm not sure where they found the stupid cheap piece of garbage, but it was actually broken out of the box, so I'm not sending it out.
No, don't even worry about it, buddy.
It was like, I have not seen such cheap plastic since the first Chinese import I've ever seen.
Yeah, all good. It's not even worth sending out.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
Pretty garbage. I
don't even blame you.
Dude, it's broken out of the box. The 0 key's stuck down to the bottom. It's half the 1 key number pad keypad is cracked. I'm like, what?
Wow.
What is this nonsense? I'd rather have no keyboard at all than send me garbage. You know?
I can just always touch the computer screen, right?
Greetings,
no,
Jeff.
I'm good. I've got what I need right now.
Vado, no live? What? We're live now. How's it going there? Oddly enough, both Windows and Linux saw commercial. Roku did not. Okay. Vado says Jello. Jello. Well, hey, the Jello was free. At least the Jello man is free. My primary PC is currently on vacation for the month. Ooh, July's always been the worst month, so I'm letting the laptop do all the work now. There you go. Demonize, one testers, and Linux others. Okay. Moonbase Alpha Grays, take me to your leader. No VMs for a long time. Boring times indeed. Uh-oh. Reptilian rules, of course. My race does indeed rule. I am a reptilian alien, if you're new around here. Fire Stick is still loading. Tom, those are how people are still seeing you. Oh, really? Fire Sticks? How fun. Low Spec Linux laptop says hello there. Joseph's going to eat some pizza tonight. All right, let us know in the comments. Are you eating pizza or have you eaten pizza tonight? Let us know in the comments. Because apparently everyone's having pizza. I did find something that cheese is bad in, by the way. I made a nice, homemade bacon chicken ranch wrap. And I'm like, I got to have something with this. And I had to go to Wally World today. So I picked up some potato salad. Who in the world ever thought of putting cheese into potato salad? They put cheese in it. It was the nastiest stuff. I threw it away. It was gross. Like, ugh. I like potato salad. I had to throw away a bunch of potato salad today because it was disgusting.
Myers has absolutely wonderful mustard potato salad. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I couldn't find any of that. They had some deviled egg and they had the loaded, and that was about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be putting cheese in potato salad. I love potato salad.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds nasty.
Not Gary's over on Discord. We're just back on the system. Just don't pay the ransom. There you go. Yeah, there you go. You can't just completely just restore from your backups and then go on as if nothing ever happened, because they'll just get back in again. They're like, haha, we're back. But you can buy yourself a little bit of time with that. Hello.
That depends on if your backup has ransomware in it, the same stuff too, and it's just time delayed.
That's why you back up frequent and often.
Absolutely.
And when you've got a stable system, at that point, back up. Go ahead, Tom.
I think you got to have at least a backup that's a month old.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not just the backup. Sometimes it's the software that you have that is vulnerable. So if you need to redeploy a backup and then update and figure out what the root cause of it is, redeploy what you had, throw it in a maintenance mode so it can't be accessible from the outside world.
It's also why I say
in a few moments.
Frequent
not Gary
backup.
just had some cake, dude.
You're
That's
gonna have
even better
multiple.
than pizza.
Cake. Oh, dang! Is it chocolate?
David had
kind of cake is it?
Chick-fil-A.
Enjoy it, buddy.
Baltimore had grilled salmon. I haven't had salmon in a while.
Wow.
Babbler
these
did not have
good.
pizza, only chicken breast with rice and salad. That's not too bad. Glass of milk.
Bad at all.
Fourth of the day. There you go. Let's see. Not installing any major updates on my laptop while primary PC is offline. Okay, there you go. Pizza for us, calzones, pizza rockets. By the way, never use American cheese in a pizza pocket. Yeah, I use mozzarella and sharp Vermont cheddar is what is in mine, which I'm planning on cooking that up on Saturday. Cheese is getting too expensive there in New Zealand. I think it's one of the things on the hit list. They're trying to get it banned. I think I saw something else today where I forget what it was, but cheese is kind of gross. I'm not a huge fan of cheese either, but whatever. Mrs. Quantum Alpha is in the house. Greetings, Mrs. Quantum Alpha. Is Quantum Alpha there with you? Anyway. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Tech will be on in just a moment, but I think let's go ahead and get started. And I'm sure that before we even finish any deep discussions here, I'm sure he'll probably be on, and then we can wrap up with a little bit of the super secret project. I'll take a few questions on the super secret project, and then we'll. I'm gonna. Hopefully Saturday is when I plan on installing computer technology in there. And that's really why I haven't done a lot of videos. I mean, this is a Linux channel. You guys want to see the geeky stuff. The geeky stuff isn't in there yet because it's all still in my office. But come Saturday, I won't have a geeky office. I'll have a geeky van instead. And so we'll get to there. Anyway.
I've been missing this.
Well, I mean, you had more information than anybody because of the supporters video. But other than that, we just had the weekly news roundup video clip as well. Mr. Quantum Alpha is right beside Mrs. Quantum Alpha. Very nice.
Very sweet.
Congratulations, folks.
Congrats, guys. That's awesome.
All right. Anyone want to jump on? Oh, there's Tech. Tech just showed up. How's it going, Tech? Oh, I'm not sure he's on yet. He's on. Oh, there you are.
Marriages
I had my
are
microphone
rare.
muted because I literally just popped in here, so I was like, all right, let me figure out what's going on first.
Good.
No time, just hit the ground running. Hey,
That's right. All right, you're on. What do you think?
What do you think? What are you talking about? Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
That's me.
No, I said
right?
we were just about to get into the topic. I said before we get too far in, Tech will jump on, and then he'll
Yeah,
set
that's
us
right.
all straight because
Showing up late.
I watched like 5 minutes of the video that you sent because I just turned it on like 5 minutes before this. I thought it was an article, and I was like going to let you talk about it. Then I'm like, oh, it's a video. So
We gotta work all the time, Tom. So we don't have a whole lot of time to really research stuff.
Yeah, reading. Come on.
I
Security
did not
now.
get a ton of real work done today. It was a weird day.
Yeah.
I started out the day and I had to help a friend move some stuff down into his apartment. He's renovating, and it's this thing. When you have a cargo van, people are like, "Hey, you want to help me move something?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem at all."
Yeah,
But
that's
I got a chance to
The
understandable.
same thing if you got a
chance to see the
pickup
place.
truck.
Yeah,
Well,
which
look at
no
you,
problem
Paul.
to me. I had no problem at all. That's awesome.
Sometimes it's good to take some time off and recharge too, and help a friend.
Yeah. I actually have accomplished a lot of work hours this week, but since I'm not
Excellent.
going to be able to accomplish anything next week, I kind of was hoping to get a little bit more in, but we'll see.
Well, if I keep
apologize
moving
for
in the
grooming
right
myself on
direction,
camera.
I'll be hiring you for. I want to have it ready to go up front.
Let's go ahead and
Before I
get on
worry about
into our great hacking assault.
Yes, sir.
Solvu. Let's go ahead and start with Solvu down there on the bottom. We'll let Tech get his thoughts together. So I guess any first initial thoughts? I sent out a couple articles. I don't know if you read those or not, but really they were just two of the security things from this week because I had a pile of them and I don't like covering any more than 4. So, any thoughts? Just initial thoughts, questions, concerns, or advice or tips on hackers, security, cybersecurity, and stuff like that.
My impression is that all those businesses and all those firms that, and I noticed this time, but all the hacks that have been the ransomware attacks have mostly been geared towards Windows environments, and in the instances where Linux also has been hit, it is Linux server who have some bashes that the Windows clients are mounting up, so they have right permissions to that section of the system, but the ransom attack are being done over the network and encrypting the files, but not on the server itself. So.
Yeah.
For those who are running exclusively Linux or Mac, seems to be off the target, at least for now.
Yeah, so running Mac
For
or
now,
Linux
anyway.
helps you. It gives you a little bit more protection, and then it depends on his stuff on the servers. And another just note, if you're doing really diligent backups that are perpetually connected to your computer, your really diligent backups are going to get encrypted too. So when you take your backups, pull the device off of your computer until the next time you're doing backups.
A friend of mine does that. He just bought 6 hard drives of 4 terabytes each, and 5 of them are in his house, and they are all having the same information on all of them. 2 of them are in Synology NAS device,
Nice.
in RAID 1 configuration, and 1 is in his computer system, and in one of those anyway, and he has an automated daily backup running and copying
Awesome.
the entire of the NAS devices is where he has everything that he needs to back up. So he has an automatic backup system who pushes a backup to one of the NAS devices, and he has an automated system that pull everything that is on those devices to one of the drives that is currently mounted in his house. And once a month or every 2 months or so, he has a friend who comes to visit, and he has one of those drives, and he comes with the device that he has at his house, and then he just swaps out the one that he has in a fireproof safe, and he just replaces the drive that he has. So he always has an off-site backup at any time.
Yeah, that's what I do. I keep one. I used to keep one in a safety deposit box, and then when the kufi happened, it's like you gotta schedule an appointment. Like, no, if I can't get in there like now when I have to, sorry. So I close the boxes out and I just keep them at a safe at a friend's house. I call it my math collection. It's Morosky external terabyte hard drives. Just for fun, trolling. We had a good time over there. But, we keep that there. Now, Not Gary says here on Discord, hire a bunch of security teams or probably more blues teams. Well, the problem we have with that, Not Gary, is one of our articles happens to be, if I can find my article view, this one here, the huge ransomware attack that hit tons and tons and tons of businesses this week was one of these outsourced security teams. Like we are doing the good thing. We are exporting our security to security professionals. Yeah, their software got hacked. And that basically trickled down. It's the same thing as the SolarWinds breach, and that it was basically a supply chain attack on the system. And you get that type of supply chain attack on the system, you're kind of screwed. You know what I mean?
There wasn't a whole lot you could do. I mean, it was kind of done. With SolarWinds. It wasn't just the password. It was, it was a sophisticated attack.
It was a lot.
Very sophisticated.
I think a lot of these attacks can be minimized if people would quit putting their junk on other people's computers.
There you go.
Now, there's two elements to this. One of these elements is your private personal data, and one of these elements is your company. And so I think that companies need to get back to an era where we're not exporting everything. We need to do more stuff in-house. But it costs more. Yeah, you know what? It does cost more. It does cost more to do things right. And so,
but you know what? It's so worth it to have things, at least like your bookkeeping and stuff, offline. It's something I really am thinking about, just going with just spreadsheets and nothing else.
I would do GNU Cache. I've been playing around with accounting, and accounting is pretty good. I've been using it's a self-hosted platform. You generally host it on a web server. I've just been doing it on a local web server that's not accessible from the internet. I found that it just can't stack up to GNU Cache.
My advice, that makes sense. I mean, you got to use what GNU Cache seems to be more fleshed out and more geared toward business.
Speaking though of that type of stuff, talking about hacks and breaching and utilizing other people's services, I'm not sure this is in the news. I kind of want to do a separate video on it. Maybe it's one I see if I can prepare and do for this next week. Intuit, who of course owns QuickBooks, which nearly everybody now is using, dominant player in the accounting world. Everyone's pushing your online stuff. Well, Intuit has now worked in it. Yeah, well, you're going to want to get off pretty quick because they just worked with Equihacks, and they're going to be sharing all of their payroll data with Equihacks. Now, it's not only your company sharing data with Equihacks, it is if you are an employee of a company that uses Intuit, Intuit is going to give your information to the company that was completely and severely breached. Congratulations, Intuit, you're morons.
Nice.
And so, Tech, you want to jump in at this point with anything?
As I guess as to what, I mean, you're not wrong. I think one of the things that frustrates me most about relying on some of these corporate entities for things like payroll. I personally don't do payroll, but now your information is going to be given to Equifax. I mean, my information was compromised in that, so it's kind of too late for me anyhow.
Everyone's information,
right? And that's the thing. Yeah. But that doesn't make it okay for Intuit to now give that information to Equifax.
Well, let's clarify something though. We have to look at a security breach as being something that our identity that leaks online, it's not a one point in time. It's an ongoing, evolving thing. Any breach we can do. Go ahead.
Right. Well, that's part of it. Is that anything up
Correct.
to that point in time that occurs is obviously available potentially to anybody who attacks that system. The other side of it is there's not a whole lot of really good ways to know for sure that you haven't been compromised without entirely redoing your cyber
get compensation if you've been compromised.
Say again, Dan?
There's no way to get any compensation if you get compromised as well.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's class action lawsuits.
So there's no incentive there to stop it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it goes to class action lawsuits, but that's mostly the lawyers who are executing the lawsuits that get paid. You know, like you and I might get, I think, like just as an example, the Amazon thing with them fixing prices on audiobooks and ebooks. I think I got $8. Like that was my compensation from a over $1 billion lawsuit. So
yeah, not a very good payoff, is it?
Right.
Well,
so it's
with the Equifax breach, though, people didn't even get that. You couldn't even get money. You got a free credit monitoring service that doesn't do anything.
Right. Well, I don't know that that's true because I actually have 2 of them now, and they actually do alert me when somebody, and usually myself, but I have received alerts where like my email associated with various services has been compromised. There was that hacks a couple months ago where that huge database of several billion passwords was compromised because somebody left a database open to the internet. I received alerts that, oh look, your email and account associated with X service has been compromised, go change your password. So there's that, but it's not going to be anything that's substantial enough that if somebody were to actually steal your data and to impersonate you on the internet, it's not going to be enough to do anything about that. You would still then have to pay a professional to go and recover your life. So this is all talking about it from the personal perspective. I'm not even talking about it from the business side.
This has got to be a point. If your data is compromised in a way that's unethical, there should be a committee that hauls you into a committee in Washington and actually gives you a stiff fine and takes that fine and distributes it by the people that got compromised.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just my little bit of advice would just to add to all that. I think
lawsuits aren't effective anymore.
No. You've got to go back to the basics, and that's things that were mentioned here up front, like when you have like especially company data and stuff. You want to make certain things publicly available to the internet that have to be, and other things you should really kind of set your firewall to not have them communicate online, or to do things like bookkeeping completely offline and something like GNU Cache, or something maybe a little prettier that works for you as aesthetically. But GNU Cache is really good for that still yet.
Yeah.
The other thing
really
is
only downside is it's ugly. I mean,
I was about to say, I think that's a fine suggestion for like small business and even for you as an individual. But when you get into a larger enterprise, like in my environment, we have thousands of assets that you're responsible for. It's a lot more difficult at that point. I mean, the man hours alone just to handle payroll of a group of that size is.
I think what you're touching on there. I think also the cloud, to go along with that, Tech, is the cloud is such a integral part of big business today, and it's so intertwined with all that we do. If we want to pull away, how could we ever truly fully pull away? I would say the answer to that is to kind of steer clear when you have to have a cloud service to really do what you need to do well. Make sure that you look at the offerings that you can trust. Stay away from the large players like Google and Microsoft, Apple in those as much as possible. Now here, look at me. I use my Apple Pay, but I use it in a different way.
At least with like Google, I mean, as bad as they are for privacy, they are top notch for security. You can say that about some of them. So if security is more importantly your thing over
Yeah.
privacy, it makes sense to use some Google
You-
services.
Yeah.
You definitely want to. Well, the privacy will also help you.
Mhm.
Google won't help you as far as sharing your data, and that's a
Right.
problem in the personal
Yeah.
realm.
That's
I was,
my issue. Well, that was the original point I was going to make, is that,
yeah,
you're with one
I'm sorry.
company, you think you're trusting that company, and their partners, which you agree to,
Yeah.
allows them to share information with their partners. Like,
Correct.
I
Yeah.
recently learned that
Go ahead.
when Apple creates like iCloud archives, that gets stored seemingly randomly with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft services. I don't like Google at all, period, in any way. And if I wasn't on YouTube, I wouldn't have anything to do with Google. So I am now somebody who strongly proposes that nobody use iCloud, because you can't
Right.
trust that it's not going to go on a Google server somewhere.
Yeah, I don't anymore.
I don't care if it's
quit using
Amazon
it.
S3 colander and leak all over the place.
Well, there's always that, So,
That's why I use Wasabi with my MSP 360. He said, "Are you using Amazon S3 to do your backups?" To the guy I was doing troubleshooting with, I said, "Absolutely not. I will not." I know Tom purchases things from them. It makes sense when you're running a business to do Prime and stuff for a lot of us, or for some of us, but I will not do business with Amazon anymore. Their business practices, the way they treat their workers, I don't really know how bad they are on the privacy issue, but likewise, I will not do business with Google. The only Google service I actively use now is YouTube.
Mhm.
And the more as time goes on and Odyssey and Rumble grows, I'm using them more and more each day. I think it has a lot to do with trust. I think a smaller company is really best in a lot of scenarios, and just make sure that they have a good track record and that they're reliable. And when they do have a security breach, that they report it and are open and honest about it. There's a situation with Pulseway right now. They're claiming they have no attacks, but there have been a realm of attacks that have been going out to RMMs, affecting RMM services. And I'm afraid Pulseway's been hacked and just don't know it yet. I don't know, but it's a little worrisome for them not. Their email was very professional, but for them to not detect it yet worries me. But at least they're being forthright in their communication. Go ahead, Tech.
I was going to say, Mitchell Valentino, as is his case, I assume your gender is a he, also says that don't be surprised if the next wave of ransomware is used as an excuse to go after legitimate lawful tech that doesn't conform to government standards. This is actually where I was thinking this conversation was more going to go.
I was going to bring that comment up, because that is really a concern in our current
we're going to see more and more. I mean, we already are seeing it, but it's becoming
an example of this is they're blaming the ransomware and attacks on the Russians,
right? Which
we all know our government has special cahoots interests with the Russians in the energy department and sector.
Mm-hmm. But as long as they don't hack the 16 things Mr. President said not to hack, that's okay.
We're the things you shouldn't bother with. These are the weak points you shouldn't hit.
So looking at that, of course, one of the things government right now is kind of going after Library, in that Library has their cryptocurrency. Well, they're trying to say that is a security, and they're trying to charge them with exchanging securities inappropriately. And so there's a big lawsuit against them right now, which is on the same front, but that's more of a direct. But I think absolutely we go talk to our buddies in Russia or talk to our buddies in China and say, hey, this alt tech company is giving us problems. Go hack them, and that's the type of thing we could start to see, because even Parler at one point in time, they had the data breach and people leaked it out, not as legitimate hacking as much as it was activism to expose people using the platform and call them all like evil KKK members or something. I don't know. But for me, I never had anything to do with Parler, because it's like, no, I'm not giving you my phone number. You're a social media site. No, you don't get my phone number. that's that. And so that is a really good point, Mitchell, that government will, in this current climate, absolutely will go after anybody in a ransomware measure. And they go, well, you're a private business. We can't do anything about it. Sorry, good luck.
Yeah, well, I'm always concerned that because there's this constant like nation state action of proxies against each other. I mean, of course, it's known that every major nation in the world, even minor nations, are constantly performing cyber attacks and probing the defenses of other nations, like the United States against Russia and China, those countries respectively against us and even against each other. And then they use proxies to actually perform attacks, and they go, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll try to find those criminals for you, not wink wink nudge nudge. And now we're becoming more dystopian, and I'm sure this has been going on for a while already, but we're going to see it explode more, that something like what happened with the meatpacking company, this is all conspiracy theory stuff right here, and I have no proof, I'm just talking hypotheticals. It could have been that there was an interest within the U.S. government that went to this Russian-based organization and said, hey, attack this meatpacking company for, basically to set up a political talking point for the political elites of the U.S. to then point fingers at Russia and go, look, Russia's the bad guy. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know.
I think it was more let's hack the meat packing plant so that we can tell people about how bad meat is, so we all eat bugs instead.
Oh, well, I was going to say Russia is not, the epitome of morality either. So don't think I'm defending Russia. I'm just saying it would surprise me if that was the story.
Hey, at least I don't think Russia is selling organs of their political prisoners. Maybe they are.
I don't think they are either.
I'm not quite sure where they're yet, but I think Russia is actually treating their political prisoners better than the United States is treating ours right now.
I don't know. Some of the things I've heard said about that Navalny character makes me go,
yeah, a lot of them. Very interesting. The other comment I did want to bring up, as well as Jeffrey, up a little bit above that one.
How dare you talk about the Putin?
Hacker solution that works for us. Put your hard drive in read-only ROM mode for boot and security files, then use the actual hard drive for working directories. There you go. Well, that is actually one of the things that Windows 11 is starting to do. So that will probably go a long way in helping secure some Windows applications.
So long as there's not a firmware exploit that works.
Yeah, I mean, there probably is, but just to point out that, that's a good idea, and Windows thought of it. There's that. So now we're back to that conversation. What's more important, security or privacy? I'll weigh the risks, and I want privacy. I don't want. I'll take the security risks for my privacy is personally what I will do most of the time, depending on what we're doing. Because
I would say security for me, and that's just a personal choice.
Yeah, well, it depends.
Does that mean I get no privacy?
Is. Well,
does that mean I get no privacy?
It depends on your circumstance. If we're talking about putting company data on a server, I'm going to prioritize security over privacy. If we're talking about my own computer that's sitting on my network behind a very, very good firewall, in a small target that really nobody knows how to find, I'm going to go privacy well before I'm going to go security, because I have layers of basic privacy or basic security in place.
It's situational, really, circumstantial.
Well, you got your privacy from really good security practices.
Yeah, and that's the thing is by doing some things to harden my security on a local level, I can take the extra steps for privacy. We are getting massive downpouring rain, so if I happen to vanish, I don't think I've been gulagged. We might have just lost power and or internet. So
you laid the groundwork. That I was kind of bragging on you earlier. Your network is probably more secure than mine. Not to say
a constantly updated PF sense with all the blocking scripts and stuff I'm running, probably.
Absolutely.
Can you guys hear the rain?
No.
Not really.
It is like
but,
bad downpour.
Yeah,
it
it was
tropical
here
storm?
earlier. It was raining.
It's been doing it all
pretty
week here,
nasty.
Tom. Every single
Yeah.
day it got nasty rainstorms. Then Wednesday night the power went out for 4 hours.
Yeah,
Ours went out
I
and came back
flickered.
on
Our
instantly.
power flickered here, but it was out for a few hours. Other places not too far around.
I hope you have a new PS.
Yeah, well.
Anyway,
power strip.
I actually had to use the stove for once to cook dinner.
I think the underlying principle I keep coming back to in my head, you know, in this conversation as we move along, back to the basics. Let's get a good base knowledge, a good working knowledge of some things we can do to at least prevent the most obvious attacks and stuff. Because really, if it's a sophisticated attack, it's more of a targeted attack. And that's if they're specifically coming after you, let's be honest, they got you. If they want it bad enough, they're going to get most any target out there. You know, a skilled hacker that is specifically going after an industry, an organization, like a state-sponsored hacker, they're going to get in. They got resources.
You know,
that's very true.
If you think about this, it's only taken about 2 decades to get to this point. Just 2 decades.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to happen in the next 20 years?
Jesus.
Oh
returns.
God, it's I'm out of here. I'm out. I'm out. I'm in heaven.
20 years ago, there was no wired internet connected power plants to hack, and now if they really want to, they can shut down quite a amount of the world's power.
I think we start to see power grids go down soon.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, I'll as long as it doesn't happen before Saturday, I'll be good.
But it might.
So Joseph says heard Western Digital my cloud USB drives has had some NAS manual. Yes. So what happened with those? The Western Digital hard drives that are designed to be online ones, and these are the ones that are like 3 or 4 years old. A hacker got in and flipped a switch that deleted everything on them. So your online cloud-ready Western Digital hard drives were pretty much deleted. And Joseph also says pretty soon you'll try and switch from Dropbox proprietary cloud to your own private cloud. Dude, get Nextcloud. Use the Linode affiliate tlm.li/Linode. You can literally spin up, single click, install Nextcloud. That is a good way to go.
Yeah. The scary thing about the Western Digital hack was that those are network local connected devices, and they found out that you don't need any kind of authentication in order to flip that switch. You only need to know the URL and what variable to feed it, and then it will just do its thing and bye bye.
Yep. And then that'll be a good backdoor into the rest of your stuff there. We got about 20 minutes left. Anything else we want to say on that? Otherwise, we can chat a little bit about, take some questions on the super secret project build.
One thing that just prior to this going live, I had a phone call with a friend of mine, and he reminded me of he mentioned something that a problem that he got last week, and he is going to the phone company and talk with them tomorrow. He got a message or a notification on his phone stating that some account that he has somewhere was accessed by someone it was in his county, but not in his street, and he still doesn't know what account was breached, or if they breached his phone, or so. One thing that Yates Mark says that we need to go back to basics. One of the basic thing is people need to understand, need to be taught. Maybe they need to do this in school somewhere, but they need to know what to do if they get some notifications, because some of the notifications that people get are phishing attacks, saying that we hacked your account, then click here in order to.
Yeah, well, when Prime
Phishing
Day
is
was
very
happening,
popular
when Prime
attack.
Day was happening, some people were sending out some Amazon phishing scams attached to that, and so you got to be careful of those.
Yeah, phishing is one attack vector that's very, very common. Even today, the nature of email is just so wide open.
Mhm.
You know, it's just, you know, it's really easy to spoof an email address too.
I
I
get
had
more.
that happen to a guy.
I get
and
more
he wouldn't
phone
listen to
phishing
me.
than I do email. I get almost no email phishing scams, but I get tons of
Yeah.
robo
So
ones.
have you
I
noticed a
get those too.
decline in that in the last few days?
No, I've noticed
No.
an increase.
Increase, yeah, because June 30th is when all of the phone carriers were supposed to have in place the ability and automatically turn on the ability to block anybody spoofing phone numbers from your local region.
Well, they catch some of them, but there's some of them that still get through.
Yeah.
I
And
just
I've
got one
had
today.
several attempts.
I got one
Several
today.
attempts.
Somebody bought a
I did as well.
$1,000 iPhone from Amazon.
Yeah,
Right. As long as they send it to you, that's all good, you know.
sure, yeah. I got one today saying federal agents were basically about to be at my door to arrest me, and it was very aggressive. And I'm like, oh my god!
Last time I heard about someone getting that call, like SWAT busted in. It was in Colorado somewhere.
It was like the
Good
next
stuff.
step was do this before the
text up
agents
here,
pick
text
you
up here,
up or
laughing,
something.
knob his head. You caused it, didn't you? It was all you, right?
Well, no, it's always funny to me because I've mentioned it before. I've worked for the government, a top secret clearance and stuff like that. So I'm very much in the government system, and so like I get these robocalls where it's like, "Do not hang up phone. You are being warrant is being executed against you."
This is your burn notice.
I was like, well, come on. I was like, for real? They're just going to wait for me at my job. They're just going to be like, come this way. We got to have a talk, and there's a room over here.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then we
They're
will
gonna be
never
very
see
covert
tech
about it.
again.
Right. You'll never see me again.
It was
These rooms
kind of like
do not have phones.
when I was a
Pretty much.
professor, and when I was on a professor, and I jumped on Facebook. Right, this one kind of crazy girl. My brother used to date in high school. She gets a hold of me. I'm like, oh yeah, what are you up to? I remember you. Yeah, kind of whatever. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm a crypto analyst for the CIA. I'm not sure I should be talking to you.
Nice.
I remember, I don't
Run
know,
away.
a friend of mine, he used to live in an area with a lot of other wireless access points, and and there was some crime in the area, and he renamed his wireless access point to FBI surveillance van. And for a short period of time, the crime went down because they thought, because there was a van that used to be parked outside, and they thought that some of them thought that the police really were surveilling the area.
Yeah. Well,
If they
I
come
am
get me,
gonna,
I'm
I am
gonna
going to
say,
change my
do your worst.
my Wi-Fi network name. It will be FBI surveillance van, because why not? People walk by looking there, and there's a lot of computers in there.
FBI van 46.
You should get a really tiny bumper sticker and put it like on the side of your van up in the corner and have it just say candy and just see.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
so yeah, we'll kind of wrap up the cybersecurity stuff here. We got like 10-15 minutes. We can talk about the fun super secret project builds. So if you guys didn't catch any of the weekly news roundups, I'm leaving this office behind here in less than a month, and I'm going to be touring around the country in a fully customized van with a lot of crazy technology in it. So it'll be kind of fun. So it will change a little bit about how the channel's going to run, but we'll see. The biggest thing we're looking at right now is these supporter streams take so much data. I'm not sure how we can do them in the current form. So that's something I'm still thinking about, open to ideas.
Yeah,
the biggest problem is we're using my own custom built Jitsi server here. And the problem is that Jitsi uses so much data. These streams will take on upwards of like 15 gigabytes of data to use. And data's a little bit limited when you're on the road.
Yes,
I
very.
can
Yeah, it's
get
hard.
around most of the other stuff, but doing these, I'm not sure. So maybe we try doing everyone's calling in on audio only. That's one option.
That would totally work. I'd be fine with that.
Well, one thing we're going to
Would.
try, I think we want to try soon, maybe this weekend, is I might get a bunch of people on an hour-long call on Discord and see how Discord is on bandwidth. The problem is that Jitsi takes everybody's feed independently and feeds it back to everybody independently, so it causes everybody's bandwidth to go sky high, and there doesn't seem to be a way to turn that off. So I want to see if something like Discord or any other scarier service is better, friendlier on bandwidth. We can do that, or audio. We can at least do audio for a little while to see what's going on. So
That was just an idea.
Yeah, but if we
what do you
did,
think?
you could set like a special room off to the side in Discord for supporter streams.
Yeah,
Like-
it's doable.
Yeah.
I
The
did
tech is there.
audio.
And then have
Tech.
everybody.
I did audio Spatries guys for about 8 months doing gaming and stuff like that, and it worked perfectly fine with 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tech, what was your idea?
Well, one, if you ever make it down this way, you're more than welcome to use my Wi-Fi here at my house. So
Yeah.
obviously we could do a live stream that way. But I was thinking,
Same
actually,
thing here.
we used to do, me and some friends, we actually used to do a kind of a nonsense, like internet culture gaming podcast years ago, where we would all just call into an audio call and just record it and then upload it to YouTube. So it wouldn't be live, really, which would be a bummer for the live chat, of course. But we could still have like an audio podcast, or conversely, you might consider like picking a topic every week and having just you and one other supporter, or maybe 2 other supporters, just have a conversation about that topic or whatever it may be. Just to throw it out there as an idea.
Yeah, so those are all neat ideas. So we just need to look into the bandwidth of all those. One thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut the live streams down to 720p because that'll save. So there's a couple different things I'm looking at on internet. The best platform I have right now is a really good IoT cellular internet setup. The problem is you cannot get them with any more than 30 gigabytes of data a month, and they're like $100. There is another plan which is more unlimited, but I would need to get all new hardware, and I already have jumped a lot of money on an IoT router. So, will I be going to the Dallas area? Probably at some point. I'm going to be traveling all over the place. Texas isn't bad. I travel through there. I will not be going there in August. I used to be forced to go down there in August for company meetings. Like, are you kidding me? You want to bus in everybody from around the country to Austin, Texas? No, why don't you bus everybody into the country to somewhere else where it's cold, or at least not 120 degrees and 95% humidity, you know?
Yeah, when I was in school, I talked to a guy that came to where I was at to go to school for the same thing I was. He said he lived in Austin, Texas, and he said in the summertime, you don't leave your garden hose out in the sunlight, because when you turn it on and you need some water, you get nothing but steam for the first 2 minutes.
That's unreal.
Speaking of how to, in the data association that I sit on the board with, we use Mumble for our monthly board meetings, and that is audio only, and it uses very little bandwidth. It's in the range of double ESDN, 120 something K per person.
Okay.
That would be very useful.
That
Yeah.
would be useful. StreamYards, I imagine StreamYard, I think it's built on Jitsi. I think it'd be the same, but we can check into it. I do have a friend with StreamYard, so we can play around with some stuff over there and see what bandwidth looks like.
Tom will not do Zoom. I tell you that much. With Zoom's privacy,
If it uses almost none, we might just to get it.
might
done.
have to. Practical
Yeah, but
wise.
we'll take some discussions. Will I be solving mysteries along with the cats? Yes, it's going to be Scooby Dooby Cat. They have their own little spot, and I actually produced for them a little motion censored fan and light to exhaust kitty smells out the side of the van. So
I think if worst comes to worst, Discord would probably be your best working option.
I
But
think so.
but that
Mint
also
Mobile
assu-
Unlimited. So hold on, Mint Mobile Unlimited. The problem with Mint Mobile is because it uses T-Mobile towers, it's really good if I'm in a city center. Like I have no problems anywhere along main interstate routes. But once you veer a mile off of a main town, Mint Mobile doesn't work as well. And so we looked into that, and I'm not sure if their SIM card will support the IoT device I have, but that's something I can look into. Anyway, go ahead, Salve, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You were saying something, I think, about your solution as far as that compared with the other options for the live.
Yeah, I don't
one
remember
thing though, if I do
Okay.
a Mint Mobile Unlimited SIM card, retool my IoT device for that, and then do, I could do something else with the other devices, that would actually get us not too far above cost with a lot more internet. That's another thing we can do.
You know, us.
Go to Miami, Florida. Eventually I will. But
I've upped mine a little bit. I hope to up it too long. Business is good, so every little bit helps.
How do you know this stuff? What stuff? Connect the hose to a turbine. You'll have an instant variation on solar power. Now, my solar is so robust. I have not had any problems. Yeah, I've actually been cooking hot dogs on the induction oven, even today in the middle of a rainstorm, and it's still filling up the batteries completely. Calix has a hotspot. So they have those little MiFi hotspots. They really suck. I'm also not sure. I think they also only use, again, the T-Mobile towers. So they'll be really good if you're in a city center, but once you get outside of it, they won't be as good.
Yeah, you know, T-Mobile, that merger with Sprint really did a bang-up job, didn't it? What happened to having better signal in rural areas?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
When my internet
maybe
goes
some of
out,
it you are, because I can actually, where I go do my grocery shopping, I actually do get signal there now where I didn't before.
when the internet goes out here and I want to use internet, I turn the hotspot on my iPhone, and I get pretty good internet. I can watch YouTube videos and everything else without a hitch.
Yeah, so here's another fun thing. Net neutrality is starting to strike because Verizon is now starting to do cell phone plans that don't have Wi-Fi or hotspot capabilities without paying extra for it.
Oh, great.
So Mint Mobile does. My Mint Mobile phone, I actually can bridge internet off of that, and I will be bumping up the data on that. I only have a 4 gig plan right now because I don't use a lot, but I will use a lot more there.
That's the problem I got. I got no T-Mobile or Sprint here. I have only AT&T and Verizon to choose from.
Yeah.
There is another solution, and you maybe have considered it and rejected it. But one of the YouTube channels that I follow is this couple who are building a house in Utah, Trenton Alley, they're calling themselves. They, a few months ago, maybe half a year ago, they got satellite-based internet with a mobile antenna that they can take along with them. And they are pushing a lot of video to YouTube every week.
There's I know the system you're talking about. Some people say that's really good. Some people say it's really bad. So I don't know. I would literally have to get one and play with it and see.
Yeah, the idea is what I was thinking about is it sounds like they don't have a low cap that maybe your mobile solution has.
Yeah. Also, Starlink is starting to do mobile RV applications, but they're extremely limited in how you can use them and deploy them. So I might need to wait for the next generation of those. But that's certainly something that I have my eye on it. And
I remember the Trenton Alley, they were showing how they configured the dish that they were putting on the lawn. And it was a safe. It was a motorized, but it found the satellite feed by itself. They almost didn't have to do anything other than
I'll go see if I can find that video. I know the couple you're talking about, so I'll see if I can find the video. I'll see what they are doing again. Let's see. Phone service, not the phone model. Microsoft evil. Humanity equals evil. AT&T. Yeah.
If they bring,
we lost you, Mark.
oh, I'm sorry.
Is Darth Vader on? I'm hearing like breathing.
Join us. We have cookies in the dark side.
You sure it isn't the rain?
Okay, I am your father.
No, I hear it through our feedback.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Meaning it's out there. It's like somebody's got a breathing machine on. Is someone vaping? Dan, are you vaping?
Me? No.
All right. Let's see. Anyone
He
seen
says
the
without a
videos
video feed.
exposing Elon Musk's fraud? I have not. Lunduke living out of a van. Is Lunduke living out of a van now? Is he? So they awkwardly run into each other at a truck stop. I'll go down and camp on the back corner of Luke Smith's property. You know.
There you go.
Is Lunduke
boy.
in a van now? Anybody following Lunduke as he running around in a van?
NC with Luke Smith and Gates Networks.
I don't think that Lunduk has sold his house, but because he has a family, but he might be out and about doing something.
There's a number of people in this lifestyle that keep their house and tour around for a while. Like Eli, the computer guy, did that for a while. You know, me, I just don't want the expense of it. And since I'm a minimalist, everything I have can fit into a fairly small storage unit. So
There you go, my
small
dude.
storage unit and travel around for a while. And
yeah, and besides, it's not your unit; you are renting it. So you have, whereas if you had a house, then you can just lock it up and just go.
Yeah, well, even locking up a house and just going though is problematic as well. But having a good climate controlled storage unit in the middle of the woods in a back alley place with lots of security cameras is actually a really good plan. So actually, I've drove a few hundred miles to get that spot.
If you get down as far as Florida,
we lost you, Mark. What?
somebody is. I can't say. I don't want to dog.
I think you were hauled away by the FBI there for a second. You started talking about Florida.
They got him. They got him.
They got him. You have a heavy breather. Ask
It isn't me.
Service on your
see?
phone about the option you want. Yeah. It's yeah. See Project Red turn to the dark side. I don't know. Nintendo's apparently on the light side along the Jedi because the Switch is the only console currently in regular stock. Or nobody wants it.
Tom will be
A lot
bringing
of feedback.
bringing Linux to a town near you.
That's right. Is that Mark giving us the feedback?
Yeah, I don't know who it is. Maybe it is.
Yep, it was Mark. I got it.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
Sorry about that. All right, what are we at? We're just about 8 o'clock, so I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Many campsite, even boondocking, have been closed down because people are vandalizing. There are some spots. I don't think it's as much vandalism as much as part of the New World Order, but there's some things to look out for. But I have a lot of ideas. I also did live in the West in a place where almost the whole place was BLM land, and we're not talking about Black Lives Matter there. So I kind of know a lot of weird back road places to stop and stay for fun for a few days. So. All right, we're going to jump off here. So just a reminder, if you guys jumped on late, this week, tomorrow, weekly news roundup. Also tonight, we're going to be talking on the Christian channel, the Southern Baptist Church and critical race theory debacle. So we're talking about that. And the next week, I will be off. I will be at a camp in the middle of Virginia, which has close proximity to a radio telescope, so there is no cell signal capabilities. So I will be able to check in on comments. So I'm going to give the mods on Discord a lot of banhammer, so don't make them mad. They will. So,
I have done it before, kids. I
that's
have.
right. That's right. Don't mess with tech.
I
He's
might
got a
be
big
the
fan.
only mod who has, actually. I don't know if anyone else has, but I
I'm
know I
not sure.
have.
I think Pizza might have as well. I don't know.
Okay.
Has he been on lately?
I don't think I'm a mod.
Where's Pizza?
No, Pizza's. I haven't seen him on lately. His server though is pretty big too, so he's doing a lot of this.
Yeah.
So next week though, I'm gonna try and have. I'm gonna shoot for like 3 pre-recorded videos, and so with that, Arizona did not shut down boondocking. That's where most people are. So a few places in Arizona because of fire hazards. Yes, there are a few places in Arizona because of fire hazards, but certainly not all of it. And so next week will be off. The week after is still up in the air, but we'll see. Weekly News Roundup tomorrow at 9, and then we will have a video on Saturday, and then a few pre-recordeds next week. So with that, guys, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next
Thanks,
time.
everybody. Thanks. Peace out.
Everyone.
Peace out, man.
Peace out, man.
Yes,
Secure your